welcome to the Real Shift Show. We are your hosts. I'm Anna.
I'm Katie.
And this is a show about reinvention, transformation. Katie and I created this space to bring extraordinary humans together to tell their stories and learn about their inspiring shifts. Some pretty big, some tiny, but consistent shifts that got them where they are today.
And we have an extraordinary human with us today who has made big shifts and small shifts. Her name is Treger. She believes that empathy and dignity can change the world, and she has put her money where her mouth is. In 2009, she founded Humble Design. We will hear all about it momentarily. She also has a show called Welcome Home that she co-hosted with her husband. 2 Emmy nominations. I would like to flag the fact that lost only to Ellen and Oprah. So we are in greatness, people. She's also a professional speaker and working on a book. We would love to join Treger Strasberg.
You got my name. You nailed my name. I mean, after saying shift, you know what I mean? You have to be careful. You nailed my name.
It's practice. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I am so excited. First of all, fantastic premise for a show. Cannot wait to talk about it. And nobody asks that particular question about the change that happens. And so super excited.
We're happy to have it, especially coming from you. Speaking of your first shift, 2009, you went to Detroit and decided to change everything. Tell us about it.
I don't know if I decided to change everything, is that the universe decided I was the person to change everything. But recognizing that the universe is telling you to do something is, important. But I moved from Miami to Detroit in 2009. Now, if any of you know about Detroit in 2009, the move from Miami was not expected. Nobody said, oh, I wish I could move to Detroit in 2009, especially from Miami. But my husband got a really big job. And I had 2 little ones. And at the time, he was traveling so much. And I was like, we just need to slow down a little bit. And so he got a job in Detroit. He's in advertising. And I found that I, as a graphic designer, wanted to work, but also wanted to raise my kids. So I volunteered as a graphic designer for a nonprofit. I was volunteering there when my kids were in school for like 2 hours a day, daycare. And I met the woman at the front desk who was just like sunshine. Krista's just sunshine. And she's got 2 kids, my kids' age. And we talk about fashion and earrings and all the stuff. 6 weeks go by. I'm just moving along with my life. And then boom, smacked upside the head by the universe. I'm talking to her and she's not talking a lot in the conversation over coffee. And I go, what's going on? And she said, well, I'm really tired. I didn't get much sleep in the homeless shelter last night. It's really loud. And I go, girl, are you volunteering? That's so lovely. She's like, no, I'm homeless. I just about fell out my chair. I lost my balance. I went head over ass over tea kettle. And when I recovered myself, I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Is there anything I can do to help? And she said, well, actually, I think I found a place. We're really excited. I think I found a place. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Tell me, I will come visit you. So I drove over there to see her new place when she got out of the homeless shelter. And her and her children were making little nests on the floor of where they were going to sleep that night with their winter coats. And what I realized for the second time in a very short amount of time is I don't know anything. I don't know anything. I walked in, I don't know what I was assuming, but she couldn't move any of her stuff from her old place when she couldn't afford the rent and move into the homeless shelter. So she was making nests on the floor where her and her children were going to sleep with their winter coats, because nothing that they had in their last place, all their dishes, their kids' artwork, everything, nothing could come with them to the shelter. So when they couldn't make ends meet, everything got pushed to the curb. Things her mother had given her, like things that had been passed down. All they could take was 2 bags of clothing. And, the theme of me obviously not knowing anything about anything comes up a lot in my life. I have to shift my perspective and be like, oh, I don't know anything about anything. And here I am learning in real time what it's like to leave a homeless shelter. And the 4 walls that you enter after you get housing is not the end of the story. In fact, it's sometimes the beginning of a very long, brutal story. So what did I do? I went home. I cried, which is another theme of my life. I cry a lot. Empath over here. And I went home and pulled everything out of my closets and my children's closets and my husband's closets that we weren't using. I never met my neighbor. I marched my rear end over to my neighbor and knocked on the door and said, do you have anything? I have a friend in need. And then I started asking people at the grocery store. and then asking people at the drop off for the kids daycare. And my friend had a pickup truck. There's a picture of me and her. It's a giant pickup truck, like one of those, like the wheels are here, and I'm 4'11" on a good day. And so we had this giant pickup truck putting all the furniture in and driving it down to my friend's house. Well, lo and behold, I did not want to just dump furniture on her. So if she didn't want something, I wasn't going to bring it to her. 6 weeks passed, and we had completely not only furnished her home, but decorated the way that she wanted to see it. So her daughter was really into musical instruments. We had a basement full of instruments that we painted pink for her because she was really into pink. Her son loved dress up. We got a whole dress up closet. All of the rooms and everything in the house were designed with love and care and dignity.
So that's 2009. And you go through this beautiful transformation or the shift, and it turns into a national organization in the year at the end of 2025.
That's a lot of yada yada over the last, bunch of years. But yes, the shift happened, I think, well, first of all, understanding that people around me are in need and that I can do something. But really what ended up happening was after a year of just doing this when I could or one-off, I had 400 people, or 400 families, I should say, who signed up for our program who I couldn't get to.
So that's how you did it right away. You start this company called, you name it, Humble Design, and you dive right in. And
people started delivering furniture to my house anyway. I might as well start it, right? Because people didn't know that I was done with the program. So people could just on a Tootsie couch on my front lawn, which was awesome. Yeah.
So how does it work? So you say there's 400 people initially that you can't even get to, which I know broke your heart as well. So how does this process work?
So what happens is the homeless shelters have a social worker who is assigned to a family or an individual. And then that homeless shelter does everything that social worker does everything that they can to get that family placed into an apartment or a home that they can afford. And to move out of the shelter. A lot of the families and individuals in the shelter have 2 and 3 jobs. Sometimes their credit score is bad. Sometimes they're just in transition. So once they get placed into an apartment or a house, that's when the social worker contacts Humble Design and says, I'm going to fill out a form. I have a really great family for you, or an individual. They have nothing. They're sleeping on the floor. And that is all the red tape that we have.
So much impact you've done. You said we fast forwarded a few years
We did.
there. But you've also done a study with UC at San Diego about some of the impact. Tell us about it.
So for a long time, you can imagine, we do this now in one day. It used to take me 6 weeks, but we do this, I should speed up and just say, so when we meet with the family on a Monday and we take in all the information, we go back to our warehouses, but we deliver and decorate all in one day.
Wow.
My next guest is a very rad human who's helped thousands of families transform their homes all for free. During the last holiday season, she refurbished the home of a military veteran in Detroit. And please welcome back to the show the founder of Humble Design, Treger.
Empathy is really the whole part of our mission and our project is to spread empathy. We're all one moment away, and we should all be kind to one another.
So we ask, that's very
And they're
fast.
not just putting things up just for the sake of what they have. They're making it the personality of the family.
It's gorgeous. And if you've ever seen Move That Bus, like that, I was inspired by that show. So this is what it is. It's like everything in the kitchen sink, artwork on the walls, electronics, games, books, beds are made. We paint each kid's name above their bed. Like we really listen and try to reflect the family. But the reveals are gorgeous. So we ask the family to leave at 8 or 9 in the morning. We have 10 volunteers come in and decorate and furnish the place. Then at 3 o'clock they come home, right? And so they cry, we cry.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
insane. All right. So what ended up happening was we had these beautiful moments that we were capturing when the families would come home with their permission, and one of them had like 20 million views, like during Christmas time. Just a little boy crying at the sight of his very first bed. And so then we started getting calls from, Inside Edition, Lad Bible. And then I met someone at a birthday party in Detroit, and I told him about my truck that was on its last leg, and it happened to be Cynthia Netzel Ford. And then they called U-Haul, who then gave me my first truck. And then it just kept this this good news piece of homelessness kept attracting more and more people who wanted to do it. So we've expanded to 4 cities. We have helped over 12,000 individuals furnish their homes the same way I helped my very first family furnish their home. And I would do this, let me just say, I would do this to the end of time if our data proved that we didn't help anyone, that we just offered a moment of joy in time for people who are having a hard time. But it turns out UCSD did a study on a large portion of our past clients, and 98% of our clients say sustainably housed. 95% of our clients have improved mental health, improved financial security, better grades, less dependency on social services. It's every single box it ticks. And now people are asking why. I have the answer.
Oh, let's do a cliffhanger.
It's a
Stay
shift.
tuned.
It's a shift in thinking when we talk about social services and homelessness. And really what it is you have to start with empathy and dignity. And you have to, instead of zooming out and looking at a problem from here, you have to zoom in and deal with people as individuals rather than as a number. And that's it. It's very simple.
That is powerful stuff. You mentioned that the kids, the children, go to their beds first.
So you can imagine I've done thousands of reveals. Super fun. Recommend it. But I have never seen a child come into a house and get excited about the kitchen table. I've never seen a child come in and look for the dishes. Every single time we have a kid coming home, they run straight to their bed. They want to know which spot is theirs. They pull a book out of the bookshelf or a toy out of the shelf and they get into bed. And this is when I talk about zooming out and zooming in. So if you zoom in on that and you just think for a second, what is the weight that a 6-year-old is carrying, that they just want to find a safe spot that belongs to them? And some of our families, 3 generations have never had a bed before. This isn't just the little kids never had a bed before. Sometimes his mom and his grandma or grandpa have never had a bed before. So having a good night's sleep is really important. Having a sleepover for the first time in your whole life, inviting somebody back into a space that you feel proud of, it's life-changing. It's altering. It's the way you see yourself in the community, the way you see yourself. And so watching a kid cry at the sight of his first bed has altered me, has shifted me in a way that I can't undo.
Besides that, which Anna can't probably talk about that.
Look to me.
I know.
I told you I was going to cry, right?
What else of impact? I know it's all impactful. What else? What other anecdotes or patterns have you seen aligned with that, maybe that the audience would have no idea about?
So sometimes we forget like the details of the issue that is really going on. And I'll tell you my favorite. My husband's favorite is the kids. Like he comes back and he just loves watching the kids' faces when they come in. For me, it's the moms. Because as moms, you put on such a brave face. You will guard your children from so much. And I've seen moms who have told their kids that they're going camping when they're living in their car, or telling them that they're waiting for their palace because it's coming, or that they're sleeping on grandma's floor as a treat, you know? So they guard them. And so they have to be strong and put together. But inside, they are carrying a lot. It's a lot to be homeless. It's really scary. And so when I watch the mom's faces, when the kids light up, and the mom, when we first meet her, sometimes her head is down, she's talking to the floor. We're sitting on the ground, usually when we do our first interview, on the floor of the apartment. And to see shoulders go back, sitting on the edge of a bed and just sagging with relief, just crying into your hands at your children are going to be happy tonight. You don't have to make up a story. It's actually going to be okay. And for me, it's the moms. And so I had a mom who sat on the floor with me and wouldn't tell me what she wanted. Because we say, like, what do you see in your living room? And what do you want for your, do you read? Like, oh, we'll bring you books. What do you cook? And she said, I'm not going to talk about me. I just want for my kids. And what she thought is that we had finite resources. And she didn't want a bed.
Oh.
She didn't want a couch because she thought if she got a couch, she would take away something from her child's room. And I had to assure her that we have plenty of beds, we have plenty of couches, we've got plenty of books, and I had to coax it out of her. So when I saw her come in, she didn't care about her room. She didn't care about anything. She just wanted to see what her kids' rooms look like. And I identify with that feeling as a mom. I don't know if you can explain that to somebody who hasn't experienced that level of brave. Parents put on such a brave front for their children, and they shove all that stuff down.
Yeah.
So I like watching the mom's face, knowing that there's some relief around the corner and some happiness.
You, Treger Strasberg, are doing all of this for other people. You have children. You have this husband that you co-hosted the show with. You cannot, you have a lot of responsibilities. How has this journey shifted you as a human being walking on this earth, as a partner, as a mom?
That's a really great question. Well, I could use examples at the beginning. My husband is going off to work, and I am going off to like my third humble home. And we don't have a warehouse or anything, so I'm taking cleaning supplies from my house and packing them up in my car to drive down to the house. And I have a housekeeper who's coming in with her own cleaning supplies. And my husband is like, "What is going on here?" And I go, "Shut up, I'm happy." And I and I left, right? And my husband points to that moment of like, you were so determined and this made you so happy. Sometimes I wondered at the beginning if I was doing it more for myself than I was doing it for the families. And I know now that 100%, I take so much joy, and our volunteers do too. It's like shameless. Like, we take so much joy from this that I have found my happiness in life through my job. So I will also say that my children are very much involved. They love going down. My husband, are you kidding? He was like co-CEO with me. He did the show with me. He's like, he's on the board. Like, he is very much in it. But what I've learned really about myself and about how I fit into the world, my shift in thinking was that I am somehow a part different than. And what I've learned from doing this is that we are all the same. We are so similar, more similar than any of us want to admit. And we are all one major event away from heartache or disaster. And if we just start realizing that we're not that different and that we need to take care of each other individually on a smaller level with people around us, there is no greater change in the world that will happen than zooming in.
That is such a powerful message. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's very inspiring. And hopefully, people hear that, our viewers are listening, and take that close to heart and have an action item on that, however small or large. So part of this journey for you is most of it is very entrepreneurial, actually.
Mm-hmm. I write a business. Yep.
Yeah. So walk us through the growth of this business and what it took for you as a founder to take it from that very first experience to then talking about it on national TV, to then letting go of some of the reins and letting it live and breathe without your day-to-day in the same way.
Well, so there is such thing as founder syndrome, and a lot of nonprofits die. In fact, very few profits. I think it's like 2% of nonprofits last longer than 10 years, which we've surpassed that. So, but what
Congratulations.
Thank you. What I realized early on is that I wasn't equipped. I didn't know. I didn't even know what a 501c3 was. I was a graphic designer. So, but I never had a problem asking for help. I wasn't one of those people who thought I had to do it and fake it. Like, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Will you help me? And what I realized was that people like that.
Yeah.
People enjoy that you're like, you know something I don't, and I need help. Can you help me? I never got a no. I got a maybe later or like whatever, but I never got a no. So when I said out loud, I don't know how to do this, it was so freeing for me, and then allowed other people to come with me, right? So the one advice that I give to people who are starting even a new company or a small business is ask for help. There are people in your community who are doing this, who can help you. So I went to the mayor's office. Anybody who would sit down with me and listen, I asked them for help. And then once I started to build this team up and started to realize that I didn't know a lot more, like paying taxes and doing my accounting, I went back to school. I am a graphic designer and advertising major. So accounting and bookkeeping is just like not my thing. But I went back to school and I majored in nonprofit management.
Oh.
And I graduated, and I will tell you, my last paper that I wrote to graduate was about founder syndrome.
Say more.
And I'm researching founder syndrome, never thinking for 1 second that this has anything to do with me.
Those other people, those other founders, can you believe
Then,
this?
the people at Microsoft. Never once. And the last paragraph of that paper, realizing, oh my gosh, I better put some people in place that can take this over for me. Oh, otherwise my legacy is going to die. And for the next 2 years, I worked very hard with Camelot. My team is so amazing. I have this group of 7 women who work with me who are just like the most insane, gifted group of individuals you ever meet. And we slowly figured out the process by which to turn everything over and put people in charge and to take ownership and who we needed and what was the holes in our systems and how to write SOPs and how to get together. We have now people all over the country. We have 4 cities, or we had 5, and how to get everybody together and doing the same thing and standard practice, all these things. So at the end of the 2 years, December 31st was my last day as CEO. I will always be founder and I'll always evangelize. But now I get to do the fun stuff like this. I get to write my book. I get to go on the Kelly Clarkson show. And so I'm still very much involved, but I don't think it would survive if I didn't figure out how to put the people in place who are just as obsessed with it as I was.
Any words of wisdom for founders who are struggling with founder syndrome?
I don't think they know, right? That's the whole point, is like, hey, founders, you're struggling with founder syndrome. Guess what? You don't know it, but you are.
Uh-huh.
No, if you think that nobody can do it but you're struggling with founder syndrome.
Gosh, I feel so seen and heard.
Yeah. It's okay to have it because...
But awareness is the first step.
But founders are supposed to have that mindset, because otherwise all the stuff that your obstacles you wouldn't jump over. If
There's a little bit of ignorance is
have
required,
to fall
right?
forward.
You have to fail
Yep.
forward. So the business model for you as a nonprofit, where are you getting the funds and who's your big
So
big supporters or your big sponsors?
we do regular charitable raises through individuals, which is helpful. And then also our furniture all comes from the community. But we also have corporate partners. I was in advertising for a while, and my husband and I understood how to make partnerships with corporations who needed authentic content, who needed to advertise or show what they were doing in the community. We have a partnership in Cleveland with Progressive. U-Haul was our very first partner who gave us trucks and then also gave us space in Chicago. So we have partnerships that way. But really what we do is we ask companies who wanted to have a day that they bond together with their employees. They sponsor a home. It's called a Day of Joy. Everybody, up to 10 of your employees, comes down to the house in the morning. They work together to get the house ready. We film it only if the client is able to be filmed or wants to be filmed. And then we film it, and then they get to watch the family come home, and it's very emotional. And they pay for that day. They sponsor the home. So they're called Days of Joy. People do it for like their birthday. My mom does it for her birthday with all of her friends. So it's not just companies, but we do have house sponsorships, and that's how we raise our capital.
And what are the 4 markets again?
So Detroit, Chicago, San Diego, and Cleveland.
Okay,
Mhm.
amazing.
We were in Seattle, but Netflix bought our building.
Rude.
Rude.
Netflix buying everybody.
They're on my shift list.
Perfect. What is a great way for people to get involved that are listening and want to perhaps have a Day of Joy?
So my favorite thing in the whole world is our humble design warehouses. They're a hive of love and activity, and anybody can come down there, volunteer. We always need helpers at the warehouse, but go online and you sign up for a Day of Joy to volunteer. You don't have to necessarily purchase the sponsorship of the home. We have volunteer positions all the time for homes that are not sponsored by corporations or individuals. And so you could volunteer to go down to a house and do this for the day. You'll be busy from 8 or 9 a.m. until 2 or 3 p.m. San Diego here does 4 homes a week. A lot of the other cities do 3 homes a week, sometimes 4. So there's lots of opportunities. And then you'll be hooked.
Humbledesign.com?
.org.
.org.
Yeah. So sign up there. Also, I want to say that we're platinum rated on all of the charitable navigators. And we have, we're really good stewards. We are obsessed with the mission. So all of the donations go to our families. We have very little overhead. And we're really looking to add more families. There's so many families who need our help. And we are only limited by the amount of money that people donate. That's it.
let's talk about what you're doing moving forward, because you have said, and Anna and I have talked about this, and I live downtown, we've seen it, and it makes sense when you've said that when you speak on this, people feel like this problem is too big to even tackle. And your answer is
action is the antidote to anxiety. Any action is the antidote to all of the anxiety, not just homelessness and unhoused, but there are people who come to me because I speak, I do motivational speaking on Humble, but also just on like the state of the world. People feel like we're heading in the wrong direction, or they have anxiety about the state of the world or the state of our country. And I say, if you stop tomorrow at that little nonprofit that you've been driving by for the last 3 years and keep saying to yourself, I should really stop by. If you write that note to your neighbor whose husband has passed away and you kept meaning to write that note or bring over cookies, if you have been waiting and holding on to something that you know that would make somebody happy, today is the day, tomorrow morning is the morning. And if you just do that little thing, imagine if everybody in your community or your state or your country just did that little thing tomorrow.
the small shifts.
Yeah.
Talk to us about affordable housing and what's next for you.
So one thing I really realized when I started looking at homeless statistics and what's happening in my space right now is that affordable housing is a real issue. A lot of our single family housing is being purchased by corporations, driving rents up. More people are owners now than are renters in the United States, which is it's flopped in the last 20 years. So what we have decided to do, our next step, my husband and I, is to invest in affordable housing and make sure that it is affordable, and then that people in the affordable housing are not only paying rent, but their portion of their rent is going to saving for their down payment to purchase. Because the way that we pass down wealth in this country is through housing, through real estate. So a large portion of this country is being cut out of that entire cycle of wealth and generational, moving into generational poverty away from generational wealth. So what we want to do is we want to move people into affordable housing that's dignified and that looks amazing, and make sure that it's furnished to their taste, and then put away a small portion of their rent without them doing anything. And then when the time comes and that equity has built up, that they've invested without knowing it, we can come to them and say, guess what? You've paid your rent on time for the last 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. You've been an excellent tenant. We have set some money aside for you, and now we're going to go help you find a house. And then to get them out of that cycle.
Will you come back to us when your book is done? Yeah. And we'll help push it?
We have a name.
Yeah. I think it's called Becoming Humble. But, let's workshop it. Let's go, ladies.
Hey, no worries. Yeah. How much time we got?
Yes. I feel like everyone needs a Treger in their life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Empathy and dignity can change the world, and you've proved it. And we're so honored to have you in our space.
Fun. Thank you. And really amazing show. I do think it's really important.
You're coming back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And for everyone tuning in today, whether you watched us on YouTube, on our site, through Apple, wherever it was,
On Treger's site,
and her channels, we are just so excited to be taking you along for this journey. And thank you for tuning in.
make sure that you share your shifts with us. We would love to hear what you thought of Treger, what it kind of connected with you, how you connected with what she had to say. Please share. We're trying to grow the show organically through our community. Share and subscribe, as everyone says. Share, subscribe.
And also make some real shifts, right? To Treger's point about the community, it can be just a small impact. It could be that letter. It could be that note. It could be that one day of contribution. So enjoy the day and keep making real shift happen. Bye.